the True Seekers. Welcome back. Zach here. It's January 16th, 2017. Over the last 2 years, a number of people have requested that I call the NFL league office and share with them this information that I know to see how they respond, to question them about rigging and then showing them what I show as evidence of the ringing. So tomorrow, January 17th, a Tuesday, I am going to call the league office. Their phone number is 212-450-2000. I just called the number. It works. I'll call it at the end of this video to show you. It's a working number. I'm going to call it tomorrow, and I'm going to share with them what I'm about to share with you about the rigging of January 15th, 2017, Packers over the Cowboys, Steelers over the Chiefs. 50 years earlier to the day, January 15th, 1967, that was the date of Super Bowl I, where the Packers defeated the Chiefs. The Packers won, the Chiefs lost. 50 years later, Packers win, Chiefs lose. So look, yesterday at halftime of the Cowboys and Packers game, I put out a blog post and a video at halftime showing why the sum of the score at halftime for the Packers and Cowboys, the first of the two games on Sunday that have a connection to Super Bowl I. Packers in the early game against the Cowboys, Chiefs against the Steelers in the late game. At the halftime of game one, the score was 13-21 in favor of the Packers, a total of 34 points at the half. 13 for Dallas, 21 for Green Bay. And by the way, Dallas was the host team. Dallas equals 13. Green Bay equals 41, just like Rodgers, which is interesting because 41 is the 13th prime number. You see? So there's a relationship. We'll talk more about 41 and 13. But anyway, it was 34 points at halftime, so I put out this blog post showing how 34 was the tribute to Super Bowl I. Notice how the word one has a gematria of 34. Super Bowl I, Packers over Chiefs. By the end of the game, the Packers won with 34 points. And then after that, the Steelers and Chiefs played. The Steelers defeated the Chiefs 18-16, a sum of 34. With regards to it being the 50-year anniversary, Chiefs equals 50, like America, like 50 states. Football, America's game, Chiefs. Historic NFL football team. Pittsburgh, another very historic team, the most winningest Super Bowl team. Pittsburgh also equals 50. Fitting for them to be playing the Chiefs on the 50-year anniversary of the Chiefs' loss in Super Bowl I. And oh, by the way, the Packers defeated the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. It was the Dallas Texans in history that became the Kansas City Chiefs. The Dallas Texans moved to Kansas City and changed their names to the Chiefs. They obviously weren't going to be the Kansas City Texans. This year, the Houston Texans are hosting Super Bowl 51. Houston Texans, 51. Last year, before Thursday Night Football in Texas at the Houston Texans Stadium, Lindy Infante died, who coached the Packers and the Colts. I said the day of that death that could be a foreshadowing that the Super Bowl will be the Colts and the Packers for Super Bowl 51, which is Super Bowl LI. It was Lindy Infante, LI initials, who died before the game in Houston, Texas, who was hosting Super Bowl LI Super Bowl 51. If Aaron Rodgers ends up in Super Bowl 51, remember this about the death of Lindy Infante. With regards to gematria, in case you're new here, when you're using the English reduction method, you're compressing each letter to a single digit and adding the word. Watch my How to Gematria video in the description if you want to know more. But S can be worth 1 or 10. In this calculator, S is always worth 1. If you make S worth 10, Rodgers also sums to 50. You know, Rodgers, 50 year of the Packers winning Super Bowl 51. Something cool about 50, when you write it out as a word, it sums to 66. The first Super Bowl season was the 66 season. The Super Bowl was played in the beginning of 1967 on the date January 15th, 67. That's a date with 83 numerology. 83, and that's the football number. They say the best QB draft class ever was the class of 83. Aaron Rodgers himself, born in 83. So look, there were these Super Bowl I tributes. The other thing I noticed is Aaron Rodgers won yesterday with the Packers and Alex Smith lost. If you don't know this, 2005, the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers had the number 1 overall pick. And Aaron Rodgers, who played at Cal, nearby, came out of college a year early, entered the draft because he thought the 49ers would draft him number 1 overall. And they say he wore a Joe Montana jersey under his suit because he was a 49er fan. Alex Smith played at Utah. Utah happens to equal 50. It's the only state that sums to 50, just like America. Anyway, the 49ers, instead of drafting Aaron Rodgers, drafted Alex Smith number 1, and Aaron Rodgers fell to number 24, being drafted by the Packers. And you know what? Now that I think about this, check this out. When you write out 24, it sums to 50. Just like how when you write out San Francisco, it sums to 50. I just said how Utah sums to 50. You know what else? Golden State sums to 41, and if you do the S exception, like I just taught you about, Golden State's 50 as well. San Francisco just hosted Super Bowl 50. Anyway, Alex Smith was taken number 1 overall, disappointing a lot of 49er fans who were Aaron Rodgers fans because he played at the college right there. Plus, people thought Aaron Rodgers was the better player. The reason the 49ers took Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers, according to the narrative you get if you're a fan, if you follow ESPN, whatever, the narrative was that Mike McCarthy, who was the offensive coordinator of the 49ers for that draft, preferred Alex Smith because he was a better runner and he wanted a more athletic quarterback. So it was Mike McCarthy who preferred Alex Smith, but then the next year Mike McCarthy went to be the head coach of the Packers, and it's been him and Aaron Rodgers ever since. How convenient is that? You know? It's all scripted, bogus nonsense. It's all a mocking of the fans, too. You know? Alex Smith, his name in Gematria sums to 111 using the alphabetic order. He was the number 1 overall pick. His rookie season, poor guy. And it's all scripted. You know, the 49er fans hated this guy for this season. He had 1 touchdown and 11 interceptions. 1 TD, 11 picks. 111, number 1 overall pick. Alex Smith, 111. He wears the number 11. Football, a game of 11 on 11. It's their 12th season this year, and of course, Rodgers wears number 12. He's also 33, the magic number. The big G on the side of the Packers helmet represents 33 in Francis Bacon Gematria. Rodgers just had 33 touchdowns after his win in Dallas in the playoffs. First playoff win was over the Giants. 33rd all-time win by the Packers over the Giants. Plus a whole lot more. But there was a little more history there with Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers in that Super Bowl I tribute. Final score of the Pittsburgh-Kansas City game ended up being 18-16. Ben Roethlisberger finished the game with 31 attempts. Steelers equals 31. Houston equals 31. You know, I think there's a strong narrative for the Patriots to be there, but I got to double check this Steelers narrative just in case there's something I'm missing. By the way, here's one to think about. The number 139 is the 34th prime, and next week, the Packers play the Atlanta Falcons. 139, the 34th prime number. 84, huge number for the Steelers this year. They're in their 84th season. They were established in 1933. Keystone equals 33. Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. In terms of the election, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin were the states that tipped the election to Trump instead of Hillary Clinton. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Super Bowl 45 was the Packers and the Steelers. That was the 41st Super Bowl of the modern era. Rodgers equals 41, Green Bay 41. They won it. But anyway, double tributes to Super Bowl I on the 50-year anniversary, with the exceptions Kansas City's 50 as well. You know, at halftime, I'm telling a story about 34. I'm showing how the NFL's paying tribute to Super Bowl I, putting up the 34 points in front of your face. Next thing you know, the game's over. The Packers have won by 34. And the Steelers have won in a game combining to 34. It's just comical. Alex Smith had 34 passing attempts. And again, Roethlisberger with 34 carries for the Steelers. It's just too much. At halftime in this game, it was 12-7. That's a lot like the number 127, which is the 31st prime number. Steelers 31, you know? Go back and look at Steelers Super Bowl history. There's a whole lot of 31 there. ESPN, after the win, had these 41 second timers up here. 41 the 13th prime, Dallas 13, Green Bay, Rodgers 41. By the way, Super Bowl equals 41. And if you do the S exception, 50, like America. You know, perfect. 41's a major number here in the USA. USA equals 41. You know, for us, it's our home. Think about it. 41, the 13th prime, 13 colonies, 13 stripes on the flag, 13 years of public school programming. When you learn the language of gematria, you see the history of sports is a whole lot of 41, a whole lot of 13, a whole lot of tributes in history. I mean, just think about that. What are the odds it ends up this way? The two quarterbacks, part of that 2005 draft. Mike McCarthy becoming the head coach of the Packers. The guy who supposedly wanted Alex Smith more. And oh yes, let's not forget that the last two games for the Packers in the playoffs have started at 4:40 Eastern Time. There's only two states in the United States that sum to 44. They're Wisconsin and Georgia. Brett Favre was the 33rd overall pick by the Atlanta Falcons in Georgia that play on the 33rd parallel. Traded to the Packers with the big G33, Hall of Fame career. Last year, after the death of Lindy Infante, I started talking about how the Super Bowl's on February 5th, 2017, a date with 44 numerology, number connected to killing. I brought up the point about how Wisconsin and Georgia, the only two 44 states, now look at them, in the NFC Championship together. I ranked these teams at the top of my list to be in the Super Bowl this season. I had the Giants, the Packers, and the Falcons all at the top of my list. Maybe I overanalyzed and ended up thinking that the best narrative for the Super Bowl was the Colts and the Giants instead of the Packers and someone else. But again, it all began with the death of Lindy Infante before the Thursday night football game where the Colts won in Houston. Andrew Luck equals 112. The Colts played in Houston. Houston equals 112. 112 days from the Super Bowl. I thought all those things were pointing to the Colts being in the Super Bowl this year. A lot made sense for them to play the Giants, the repeat of the greatest game ever played. Didn't happen. But I'm not surprised to see what the Packers and the Falcons are both doing. You can go back and watch my videos. Back to last season, this summer, talked about these teams being up here, potential teams in the Super Bowl this year, and they're right here. One of them's going. And notice Packers finished 10-6. At the beginning of the season, I predicted the Giants to finish 10-6. The number of prophecy, Eli Manning's full name. Packers ended up beating the Giants to start the playoffs. In my own face. So anyway, Patriots also won this weekend with 34. The name Brady equals 50. See, it's all part of the ritual. It's all tributes back to Super Bowl I. Brady's 50. 50 years since Super Bowl I this weekend. And oh, by the way, the game's on Saturday this weekend. The Texans at the Patriots, the Seahawks at the Falcons. That was the exact playoff matchup, January 13th, 2013. Both those teams with both the same outcomes. Same teams won. From not that long ago. It's all scripted. It's all tributes. You know, the Falcons and Seahawks. The Falcons now have the coach that used to coach at the Seahawks, Pete Carroll. You know, he used to coach for the Patriots. Like a chain. So there's more, but we'll just wrap it up here. Oh, yeah, Mason Crosby. You know, Freemasons. Freemasons create American football. Mason equals 62. He hit that game winner, the 51-yarder, when the score was 31-31. 62 total points. Mason comes out to kick the game winner. After the pass to Cook, Cook equals 44. There he is, Mason Crosby out with 62 points on the board. Want to know something funny? March 3rd, 3-3. It's the 62nd day of the year. And just so you understand this is bigger than football, check this out. Calendar's 58. We are on the Gregorian calendar system. Gregorian 58. Freemasonry 58. Secret Society 58. What's on your dollar bill? Annuit Coeptus 58. Means God favors our undertaking, which is no doubt the Freemason undertaking. March 3rd, 3-3, the 62nd day of the year. You know? And by the way, the Packers are in their 96th season this year. The ranging degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Some to 96. I could go on and on, Truth Seeker. But anyway, I'll be calling the NFL League office tomorrow. Let me just dial this number. Show you that it works. 212-450-2000.
National Football League. Our offices are presently closed. Our switchboard hours are 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you know your party's extension, you can dial it at any time. For a spell by name directory, please press 4.
I'll be giving them a call tomorrow. I want to know who's doing the scripting. Maybe I'll find out. Most likely not, though. Until next time, Truth Seeker.